Good afternoon and welcome to the 27th meeting of the Honolulu Liquor Commission. I see there are no minutes to approve, so we will move directly into the calendar, calling public hearings, calling agenda item number 1, application number 22-24515 from Surfar LLC.
Hello, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the Commission, Emmanuel Ziwakalam here on behalf of Surfar LLC. To my right is the member. I'll let him introduce himself and spell his name.
Owner Nikolai Blankin, MAKLOAJ, Blankin, PLENKIN.
We reviewed the single letter of protest that was provided to us. The only comments that I have are this is a space that was previously a dispenser. As well, we're located inside a hotel. So there's very minimal noise that gets put to the outside environment.
Thank you. Mr. Rack, do you have anything for that?
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. This application was rescheduled from the January 26th meeting. Public hearing kept open. This application has received 1 written protest, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application. And for the record, a summary of the December 1st preliminary hearing testimony was provided to Vice Chair Hong prior to the rescheduled public hearing.
All right. Any comments, questions, or type of action?
If you could ask if there's anyone in the audience who.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to provide testimony for this matter, agenda item number 1? Seeing none. Commissioner.
So, Mr. Zibakalam, looking at the floor plan, the restrooms that are outside of the licensed space, is there a way for anybody to go anywhere, or is it just, does it end there, or does it lead to an open public space?
So the restrooms are located directly adjacent to the bar itself, but from my understanding, no alcohol is allowed to be taken, obviously, outside the licensed premise. And I'm not sure, is there a corridor from the bathroom that leads to an exit, or is it just directly in front of your bar?
Just directly in front of our bar.
So the only thing I'm gonna suggest is, I mean, I know I'm not sure if I made that comment in the prior hearing, preliminary hearing, but we need to make sure that people aren't going out of the door with stuff. So you might want to make sure somebody stationed near the exit, because it looks like that's one of the bigger exits, right? It's a double swinging door versus a single swinging door on the back side, right? Which I'm assuming is just like for your exit for kitchen people or things like that, but we can make sure of that.
Will do.
Further questions?
Okay. I move we approve agenda item 1, application number 22-24515.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any reservations or objections? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24515 is approved. Thank you, gentlemen. Calling agenda item number 2, application number 22-24526 from Top LLC. Morning, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is James Lee, representing Top LLC, DBA Royal Lobster. Seated to my right is the handsome man. I'll let him introduce himself.
Justin Sock, that's okay.
Thank you.
Do you have any changes to the investigative report?
No, sir. Nothing
Thank you.
new to report.
Thank you. Ms. Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This matter was rescheduled from the January 26th meeting. Public hearing kept open. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application. And for the record, a summary of the December 1st preliminary hearing testimony was provided to Vice Chair Hong prior to the rescheduled public hearing.
All right. Is there anyone who would like to provide public comments on this agenda item number 2? Seeing none. Any comments, questions from the commission?
Are you the same Top that was downtown
Yes.
and had a liquor license there as well?
Yes.
So only question I have is just reconfirming, right, the outside seating or outside dining area is enclosed, glass enclosed, correct?
I have pictures.
I mean, being honest, I think I've eaten at your restaurant when you
Okay.
first opened.
Yeah, it's
so
close enough,
it's-
pretty tight with the plank.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no actual door, right, that goes in or out of that glass section, except we gotta go through the dining area, correct?
Right.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Yeah, I move we approve agenda item two, application number 22-24526.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing or seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24526 is approved. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to eating there again.
Moving into special license applications, calling agenda item number 3, application number 23-0182-1 through application number 23-01282-26 inclusive from Melee Garden LLC.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Devin Coleman representing Another Garden LLC. And to my right is Mr. James Owen, member of Another Garden LLC. We have no actual corrections to the report.
That's right. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a special application. It's a special.
Yeah.
Any comments or questions with the commission?
so I have some questions. Okay, so Mr. Nakoba, some questions for you and your client. So looking on your client's application, not a whole lot of liquor experience, yeah. So I guess what I'm looking at is, I mean, you're gonna be a pretty long period of time and, 77 days and using a luau type thing.
Mhm.
Is he gonna be using somebody that has, experience in distributing the liquor and alcohol?
Yes, we're hiring a barman.
Okay. Let's see.
There was a previous group that was performing the catering at the time. And they were able to glean information from them that way too, operational, things like that.
Okay. Let's see. So when you look at your guys' floor plan. So you have a large areas of red indicated for where you're at. Is that fully enclosed? Is it open? And then trying to look at the floor plan, like I seen a certain area where there were bars. Where's going to be the entrance? Obviously, I see an entrance thing, but you have all that yellow slashed off area. Is that how many seats are we gonna have in there? Do we have an idea? I mean, just so we have an idea, right? We're trying to make sure,
So the
things don't
entrance,
delineate.
we built a tunnel.
Okay,
Everybody walks through, so we have somebody checking at the tunnel.
and they're gonna band there at the tunnel or at the bar?
At the-
Okay,
And then as they enter, there's a greeting area, and then the bar is in the red area by the audio tower. to the
Okay.
bar. It can seat about 450.
okay,
Currently, the seating has been at about 200.
Yeah, we've been operating at about 200.
okay,
We
Some-
started July 4th.
okay. So I'm assuming the bottom where it says seating in those 2, 4, 6, 8 rectangles that used to be the old stage or
No, that's a VIP area,
a VIP area?
raised a little bit.
Okay. Okay. And then besides that, the regular delineated license space, is that going to be like open air, or is it gonna have something cordoned off where people cannot?
It's
Leave
open
there.
air. There are servers traveling throughout. Keeping an eye out for things as well as the bar managers, the manager of the property itself.
Okay.
So
Okay. Just so we know, right? I mean, we're asking about the
of course,
area because anything caught outside that license space, right? Technically becomes you're liable for it, right?
yes.
Even if they didn't get it there, they didn't do anything with it, right? That's why I want to just make sure, right, that
Of course.
there's not going to be things passed or moved out through those spaces. I know it's a large space. I mean, you might want to think about in the future, if this becomes longer than this time area, some type of, not super tall barricades, but some kind of permanent type delineation.
Understand.
That's all the questions I had.
Move we approve agenda item number 3, applications number 23-01282-1 through 23-01282-26.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Applications number 23-01282-1 through 23-01282-26 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Calling agenda item number 4, application number 23-01353-1 through 23-01353-30 from AFHYEP LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair Buckley and members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of AFHYTT LLC. Appearing with me is Frank Clark, owner. With no changes to the investigative report, applicant has been operating on special licenses. And we need to extend that further.
And you have a permanent license pending, correct?
Correct.
So this is for the Sticks.
Correct.
Restaurant area at the bottom, right?
Correct.
So, the only question I had is, so I know the whole space is licensed. Is it going to be where that each individual restaurant will still be able to serve, or are you gonna have like a bar there, specific area? I mean, because obviously, right, I'm just trying to understand how you're going to make sure like somebody from one place is not passing to somebody outside. Because I mean, I've eaten there prior to it becoming Sticks. And obviously there's several separate restaurants.
Correct. So
So-
the concept is the same. Liquor will remain within the individual restaurants. It's just we have a master liquor license
Okay.
for the entire premise. So
Okay.
There's
And then do you have, there's like what, 1, 2, 3, 4 entrances or exits?
There's 3 and then a staircase.
Yeah, and then that leads to the elevator up into the building, correct, for parking. So you're gonna have people stationed at each one of those, kind of making sure people aren't taking you out.
So we have employees who will be walking around to make sure liquor does not leave the premise or essentially does not leave the restaurant.
Yeah, I
Take
mean,
it
yeah,
to
so
the-
obviously they can maybe leave have something, because I know there's a bar in the middle too, correct? Yeah. Okay, I have no further questions.
I presume there's been no incidents while you've been operating? No, correct. This looks like it's pulling you through roughly mid-May. Do you know the status of your permanent, where you are in that process?
My understanding is it's still being worked on. It was filed in early June of last year.
So no preliminary hearing.
And no preliminary hearing.
All right, I move we approve agenda item number 4, applications number 23-01353-1 through 23-01353-30.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Applications number 23-01353-1 through 23-01353-30 inclusive are approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Calling agenda item number 5, application number 23-01367 from Pools and Catering by Sinagalan Inc. Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Sam Malero, General Manager for Pools and Catering by Sinubla.
Could you just walk us through this application?
This one is a baby shower. Pretty simple event. It's a courtyard event, 100 people. And the liquor or the bar is in the end, and it's just all contained within the courtyard. And there is going to be one HPD officer outside.
Is it 100 people, correct?
Yes.
Commission?
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
I move we approve agenda item number 5, application number 23-01367.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Seeing and hearing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01367 is approved. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 6, application number 23-01395 from Pools and Catering by Sinoblan Inc.
Afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Sam Malero, General Manager for Pools and Catering by Sinubla.
Can you walk us through this event, please?
So this one is a first birthday. Instead, this one is going to be in the ballroom this time. We did include the courtyard and the ballroom. It's house rules. When they rent the ballroom, they also get the courtyard as well. So we also license that section as well. 200 guests, and there's gonna be 2 officers on site.
So based off the courtyard stuff, how many, I guess my bigger question is for your staff, how many guys you gonna have staffed out there? Only because obviously, right, courtyard is pretty wide open, right?
We still, yeah, it's still wide open. It's accessible by the guests. Officers usually help us out, but we always have at least 1 staff either in the ballroom or in the courtyard.
Okay.
That's the case.
The buffet line, I'm assuming is gonna be right outside there too, yeah?
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay. I mean, we just, I guess my biggest thing is just make sure we have at least a couple of people out there watching. Cause it leads out to everywhere and we don't want things traveling outside or guys
Right,
coming
to
in through the
parking
door
lot and stuff.
and giving to other people. Yeah, I mean, first birthday, I don't think we'll get that, but just be careful with that. Okay,
Yeah, for sure. Yes, sir.
thank you. I have no further questions.
And I move we approve agenda item number 6, application number 23-01395.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Seeing and hearing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01395 is approved. Thank you.
Mahalo.
Calling agenda item number 7, application number 23-01370 from Free Spirits LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair Buckley and members of the commission, Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of Free Spirits LLC. Appearing with me is Matthew Choi, manager. We have no changes to the investigative report.
Can you just walk us through this event?
Yep, it's the closing ceremony and tour for Aloha Stadium. It'll be on Saturday, February 25th. It's from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. The event is broken up into kind of 3 little mini events. The first period, 10 to 12, is free to the public. There's not a lot of activations. It's there for people that want to just come in, get on the field, take pictures. The only attraction is the tour. From 12 to 4, it's for the kids. So the main attraction is like a kids combine where they can run around with some of the XUH players. And then from 5 to 9 is a live entertainment portion for the young adults.
Is alcohol served the whole day, some of the day?
Alcohol will be served from 12 to 9. But we might open that up at 10 when the event starts, depending on how hot it is that day.
What are you doing in terms of security? Because obviously there's going to be minors participating throughout the day.
We have 16 roaming security guards on the field, plus another 12 ushers from Aloha Stadium that'll help monitor. We're going to ban all the guests that buy alcohol, and we're only serving in 22-ounce size cans, so they'll be easily identifiable.
Commissioner.
hey, so some questions. Entrance, is it only gonna be from the north end zone?
The entrance is through the main security gate in the ticketing booth. And then they'll go on the tour, they'll go to the locker room and come out the tunnel where the players come out.
Okay, so okay,
The north end zone is for loading and unloading and emergency exit only, so no guests are gonna come through that. end.
okay, so they're gonna be coming through the locker room.
Yeah.
When will you be IDing and banding them?
When they come to the bar. So we'll have a security guard at the tunnel entrance, so alcohol can't leave the field. Alcohol is only on the field.
Okay. So alcohol will only be on the field, security at the exit point. For that, they're gonna band at the bar. So it looks like you have 2 bar sites, right, on your map.
Correct.
So, but how many guys are you gonna have banding in each of those areas, if you have an idea?
We'll have 2 security guards at each bar to
Okay,
check ID.
okay. Is your bartenders going to be able to ask for ID if they feel that the person doesn't look of age?
Yes.
Already answered that. Question, based off your report, it said restrooms are only going to be in the locker rooms. So you're gonna have people guaranteeing that guys aren't gonna be able to take drinks into the restroom, correct?
No, they can't drink in the restroom either. So we'll also have a security guard at the locker room door. So they can only stay on the field with the alcohol.
Okay. I mean, I'm just making sure, cause we don't want guys obviously going into the restroom and passing it off to their younger brothers, whoever in there, okay? Parking, so I know that they're gonna be able to park at Aloha Stadium. Somebody happens to be drank too much, not able to drive, are they gonna be able to leave their car at Aloha Stadium?
They will, we have a plan with the Aloha Stadium that if there's a person that's too intoxicated to drive and they can't, they want to take an Uber, they can leave their car overnight and get it the next day, because the slot meets open on Sunday.
And the only last thing I have is, what is your, do you guys have, I said, I think it said ticket sales were in advance so far. Do you guys have a number you're at right now?
Right now, we're at 2,000. Out of that 2,000, 1,500 of them is during that free period.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
I move we approve agenda item number 7, application number 23-1370.
You want to add the 0 after? 23-01.
3-01370.
Second.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01370 is approved. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Agenda item number 8, application number 23-01398 from Groove Child Charities. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Lance Suchi on behalf of Groove Child Charities, LANCETSUCHIYA.
Could you just walk us through your event briefly?
So this is our 4th year with this event. Previous years, no altercations or incidents, anything serious that we have to report. We worked in conjunction with Bishop Museum to put on this event. It's to promote local music and island culture.
What is your expected turnout number?
So we've had up to 3,000 people in the past. We normally cap it around there. You know, the space, the total utilized space is about 70,000 square feet, but a lot of it is for logistics and staging.
Are tickets on pre-sale or is it?
Pre-sale currently at $20.
Do you currently have a number that you've already sold? Any chance?
Very few.
The only thing I was gonna ask is, I think if I remember the last floor plan, if you look at your floor plan, there's that part that says unused service path that's now in red. I don't remember ever seeing that in
Yeah,
red.
so,
Is there a change there or what's gonna happen
I
there?
designate that area just because that's the path of our barbacks. grabbing
Okay.
ice and stuff like that.
Okay,
So general public is not allowed in that area. If you look at the way we gate off our bars, nobody is allowed behind our bars or anywhere on the sides.
most of the area with that is always in the circle area, so I
Right,
just was
right.
asking. I do see a darker line where it looks like we can't get past the bar, so got it. I have no further question.
Good memory, Commissioner.
Yeah. Move we approve agenda item number 8, application number 23-01398.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none. I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01398 is approved. Thank you. Moving into preliminary hearings, calling agenda item number 9, transfer application number 22-24474 from Kelly O'Neill's LLC. Afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon. My right is the owner, John Langham. For the record, reflect Wayne Lutz, Wisconsin. Mr. Langham is on his second temp license and so far no problem.
Comments, questions from the commission?
The only thing I'm looking at is your floor plans. You have 2 pages, right? Exhibit A proposed, and then you have the exhibit A, the next one. Is that like a second floor where it's like your office, accessory storage? The office. Is it like on a different level or is it? I'm just looking at trying to figure out where it is within the original, the exhibit A floor plan, the first one.
Yeah,
Is it anywhere in there? That's the reason why I'm asking.
no, it's not service on now, no.
Okay.
We have a black and white copy. Is that going to be a licensed premise or is that outside of the license? area?
It's on the license, but there's no liquor and service. I'm sorry, I have my road pattern,
That's okay.
but it's taken the premise as is, and you know, as a transfer.
That's one of the questions I had.
I move we approve agenda item number 9, application number 22-24474.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing or seeing none, I also vote aye. Motion carries. Application number 22-24474 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 10, application number 22-24609 from J and J Investment Group LLC. DBA Blum Express. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
To my right is Daniel Lim, he's the owner. It's present with Council Wayne Luke. There are no changes to the investigators report. He has been operating the premises, you know, without liquor for about a year now.
so Luke, the only thing I want to point out, right, is we're looking through the application, right? The other Palama Express. One Aloha Tower space, right?
Yes, yes.
There is quite a few violations here and there, you know, that you guys have went through. With this space, I know you haven't used or sold liquor in it. This is going to be your first stint of doing it. Let's try to work to make sure we don't have as many violations, okay?
Right.
Because we don't want to see that. We want to make sure we're
Sure,
doing well with it, okay?
sure,
Beyond that, that's all I have.
thank you.
I move we approve agenda item number 10, application 22-24609.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing or seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24609 is approved.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Commissioners.
Calling agenda item number 11, application number 22-24735 from Kamakura Hawaii LLC. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Let me call on behalf of Kamakura Hawaii. Present to my right is authorized agent Ms. Miyoko Yamanouchi. We have no changes to the investigative report.
Thank you. And any comments from the commission?
it's cool. On the floor plan, right-hand side, is that outside seat?
On the, I guess the way you're looking at it, there's outside seating on the right side as well as on the top part of the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the liquor will not be served on the right side seating area. That's just a waiting area for the customer.
Okay. Because I'm just looking at the floor plan and it looks like there's the lineage of redness that shows it's part of the licensed area.
Oh, yes, that part of the outdoor is part of the liquor license. This part is part of the liquor license, but this outdoor.
Yeah,
seating is
yeah.
not.
Okay, so the outside seating part that is going to be part of the liquor licensing, right?
Mhm.
What kind of blockage do you have over there? So it doesn't, get beyond your license space
We have a wall or partition
or partition?
all across, so there's no access from outside
Okay,
to the restaurant.
and then you only have one doorway to go in and out in that space.
Yes,
Okay, do you know if you're gonna plan to have someone stationed out there at like most of the time?
well, we have a server working around, serving the seating area.
Okay, my base reason for asking a question of concern would be, right, if you have groups out there eating by themselves, not too many people out there, that doesn't mean that might not pass something to maybe their older brother with his younger brother, vice versa.
Yes, there'll be a dedicated server for the outdoor.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
How many seats are on the outdoor area?
On the outdoor area seating, I think we're looking at roughly 24. Sorry, it's 8 seating. Says it right there.
Oh, in the.
The outdoor
I see.
area,
Yep,
yeah.
Yep, thank you.
We approve agenda item number 11, application number 22-24735.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24735 is approved. Thank you.
Commissioner.
Calling agenda item number 12, application number 22-24746 from NC Concepts LLC DBA Pieces.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the Commission, Greg Shield, authorized agent, appearing on behalf of the applicant. We have received the investigative report. No changes, so.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners.
Okay, so Mr. Nishioka, looking at your floor plan, I don't see any color showing what is actually the license space and what you're changing in the license space. Do you have something?
What's the one that we got shows a red outline, which if you can see it. The agenda number 18, item number 18 today addresses the current situation with regard to permanent reduction.
Okay, because
You see, if you can see.
let me say.
Yes.
Okay, so that was part of my other question, because I didn't see any color on that one. So that's my only reason why. I don't know what is the actual
Commissioner, if you look at
space.
the application, the floor plan on the present matter, you'll see a small little box here has it's crossed out. That's gonna be the sole retail portion of the
Okay,
remainder portion. We're just reducing the whole footprint from a retail so that we can go forward with the restaurant
okay.
license.
Got it. The thing I would suggest is as we move forward with the restaurant thing, can you keep somehow make sure we have something showing what the license space is? Because otherwise I'm gonna ask the same question again. But
Not a problem, Commissioner.
got it. Other than that, I have no other questions.
Thank you very much.
So reading those two applications together, you're going to reduce the current retail space, but you're going to have that still be a retail space,
Correct.
and then you'll have the restaurant space.
That is
adjacent to
correct.
it. And is there any delineation between spaces? Because you'll have two licenses, so they'll have to be
I
separate.
think we'll kind of work on that. You know, that actually that space that's gonna be the sole retail is a refrigerator. It's a refrigerator.
Small
That-
space.
Right, that's why it's so small. They'll grab the items and, they can sell from there. They will keep separate inventories. Well, I mean, we'll use pool buying to take care of the purchase of alcohol. To take care of.
So point of order, we're gonna take item number 18 right after this. Or are we doing them together?
Yes,
We should take
Okay.
them out.
Okay. I move we approve agenda item number 12, application number 22-24746.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24746 is approved. Calling out of order, agenda item number 18. Request number 22-24745 from MC Concepts LLC DBA Beast.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the Commission, Greg Shield, authorized agent, appearing on behalf of the requesting party. We'll go from the changes over. Investigators report.
So can you just, for matters of agenda item number 18, just summarize what you were stating previously?
Yeah, as stated previously under agenda item 12, currently it is a retail space. We're reducing it to allow the restaurant license application to go forward. The only portion that will be remaining as a retail is I believe it's come 2x3 or 3x3 area, which is actually a refrigerator.
Okay, I move we approve agenda item number 18, request number 22-24745.
second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Request number 22-24745 is approved.
Thank you very much, and thank you for taking the matter out of order.
Back to our regular order, agenda item number 13. Calling agenda item number 13, application number 22-24849 from One Team Restaurant AMC LLC. Gentlemen.
Item number 13.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Keith Suzuka on behalf of applicant One Team Restaurant EMC LLC, DBA Wahlburgers. To my right is the General Manager, Robert Phillips. We reviewed the investigative report and have no comments, but stand ready to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners.
So looking at the floor plan right there is only one entrance, right? The one in the main. Right next to
For the customers, yes.
customers, but there's that back entrance, right? That's more for the kitchen and your staff, correct?
That's correct.
Is there, I can't really make it out. There's no bar seating or anything like that, correct?
Oh, there is bars.
There is, okay. Okay, okay. No, I have no other further questions.
I move we approve agenda item number 13, application number 22-24849.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24849 is approved. Thank you, gentlemen. Calling agenda item number 14, application 22-24921 from Earth Food USA LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair Buckley and members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of Earth Food USA Inc. Appearing with me is Taku Arai, last name Arai, a manager. We have no changes to the investigative report.
Thank you, commissioners.
yeah, I have no questions.
I have no questions. I thought your food looked delicious on that picture, so. I move we approve. Item number 14, application number 22-24921.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24921 is approved. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Temporary license applications, calling agenda item number 15, application number 22-24273 from My Restaurant Group Inc.
To my right is the owner, Min Young Choi. He is president of council, Wing Luke. We have no changes to the investigator's report. He has been managing the premises for the last 6 to 8 months, has not had no problem.
Mr. Choi, I believe there were outstanding violations that needed to be cleared up for Soju Bank. Is that
It
part
was
of your
cleared up.
encumbrance?
It was cleared up.
Oh, it was. Okay, good.
That's what we have has been cleared up. I think we did have we did have a hearing a couple months ago.
I don't have any questions.
Okay, I move we approve agenda item number 15, application number 22-24273.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 22-24273 is approved. Thank you. Gentlemen. Calling application number 16, agenda item number 16, application number 22-24755 from Yoon Kyun Young, DBA Friendly Store.
No problem.
There's no
Take your time.
please,
Yeah.
I'm done getting it good.
The applicant Yoon Kyung Young is president of council Wayne Luke. There are no changes to the investigative report. Just a clarification. In June of 2020, I received a phone call in June that the owner had passed away and that they were, probate, the person represented that had not been appointed yet. You will see in the report one was appointed later on in July. I approached the subject to administrator, assistant administrator, Mrs. Hurai. And the recommendation is I write a letter to get permission from the commission to renew the license and file a go sale report. That's where we are. So they granted that, the license was granted that year, and this past year, the license was renewed also.
Can I put something on the record really quickly?
Yes, Mr.
With
Rodriguez.
respect to, sure I've got the 2195, there's a provision in that first paragraph with respect to, a personal representative, so on and so forth, continue to exercise a license for the purpose of, closing the affairs of the state. But if not so continued within 45 days, the commission shall cancel the license. This does not operate as an automatic cancellation.
Sure.
This would have to be agended and put before the commission for action, because we had some discussion about the effect of that statutory provision. It has not been brought before the commission. It would not operate on its own to automatically cancel at 45 days. There was a concern about that.
Mr. I, if I understand you correctly, does that mean the commission has discretion to approve or deny?
Yes, I believe so.
Thank you.
Before the cancellation, if there was a cancellation.
Thank you. Mr. Commissioners.
I'm gonna probably be like for this, but I want to ask for a motion to go into an executive session. To consult with the board's attorneys on questions issues and matters pertaining to powers, duties, privileges, or liabilities. Sooner, hiring disciplinary officers. Consideration of matters of privacy may be involved. I'll entertain a motion to go into an executive session for this purpose.
I move that we go into executive session. For the purposes.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing seeing none, I also vote aye. Motion carries. We're now in executive session.
Yeah.
Okay, we are back. Thank you for allowing us time to be in executive session. For agenda item number 16, application number 22-24755. We were deliberating regarding a conclusion of law that we're bound to make in this matter related to section 281-95. Unfortunately, in executive session, we weren't able to arrive to any conclusions in a satisfactory matter. So we're going to continue this matter for 30 days and seek further counsel from corporate counsel. So if I could have a motion.
So
Second,
There's been a motion and the second. Are there any objections or reservations? Hearing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. This matter is continued for 30 days.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Calling agenda item number. Moving into catering licenses, calling agenda item number 17, application number 23-01419 from Pacific Suites LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the commission. This is Robert Uyoka on behalf of Redfish Poke Bar by Foodland. Present to my right, Ms. Kelsey Kagehiro, District Manager, first name K-E-L-S-C-Y, last name K-A-G-E-H-I-R-O. At this time, we have no changes to the investigator's report. This is to extend an existing catering liquor license for the cafe area at the Waikiki Wayfinder Hotel.
Thank you. Thank you. Commission.
I have a question.
move we approve agenda item number 17, application number 23-01419.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Application number 23-01419 is approved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving into requests, calling agenda item number 19, request number 23-01320 from KUY Restaurants Limited Liability Company, DBA MW Restaurant.
Good afternoon, Chair Buckley and members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of KUY Restaurants LLC, doing business as MW Restaurant. Appearing with me is Jared Brown, the manager. We have no changes to the report. Applicant has, or licensee has used this area for the past 1 year with no problem. It's a request to continue the extension for another approximate 1 year.
so. Mr. Gota, you said that you guys have had this temporary extension of space, what, a year now prior?
Correct.
So you're looking for another year.
Correct.
So I guess two questions.
Sure.
One is going to be, do you guys have some kind of plan in the future to make this work as either a portion like a permanent space or not? I mean, as we keep going year to year, right, we look at,
Yes.
what is the space? And then the other question, which you can give me your answer after, is this the second floor portion of where the auto dealership is? Because I know M&W has moved to, M&W moved to the second floor, right, over there. So is that the extension portion of the second floor? Or are we talking about the first floor area?
We're talking about the same floor as MW is currently on.
Okay.
It's a separate room that's maybe 10 feet away from the entrance
Right,
of
right.
MW.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it can't be permanently expanded to because it's used for a car showroom. And so what was happening was we were coming in for 1-day extensions for events practically every week. And so it was getting a little tedious. And so the compromise potentially was get a 1-year extension or a temporary extension. We only use it when we have events, so it's not 24 hours. We're not using it all the time.
Okay.
So unfortunately, it can't be a permanent expansion to our premise. Yeah.
So, my only point I'll raise is I can't remember if I've sat on the first time you guys did the first year's one. I just want to make it known, right, that this is your licensed space for 365 days. If something happens to somebody, no matter who it is, or what it is with alcohol, your client will be in here for a violation, just so they
Correct.
understand that.
We've explained that to them, and we work with Velocity to ensure that that space is monitored because it is technically, we're responsible for that 20 while we have this extension in place.
I have no further questions.
Velocity knows that they're not permitted to serve alcohol and they're on the license, correct?
Correct.
I move we approve agenda item number 19, request number 23-1320.
Second,
We've got a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Request number 23-01320 is approved. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 20, request number 23-01399 from Jinya Hawaii Inc. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the commission, Naomi Cole on behalf of Junior Ramen. I'd like to request that the extension be, the date of the extension be delayed from March 10th to April 10. We have 31 unused days for the temporary liquor license. They're currently operating under their temporary liquor license, and we'd like to be able to continue to serve alcohol through the public hearing.
Where are you in that process?
I was told that just the other day that the preliminary hearing was set for next week, Thursday. So we should be able to hopefully get the liquor license by the end of, before this April 10th meeting.
you haven't had any problems out during the current temporaries yet? Problems?
No, they were very diligent getting that on the calendar for me.
No, I mean, no problems serving.
Oh, no,
under the
no,
temporary
absolutely not. No,
license. Okay. That's fine. I have no questions.
Move we approve agenda item number. That was 20. Request number 23-01399.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing or seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Request number 23-01399 is approved. Thank you.
Thank you,
Calling
Commissioner.
agenda item number 21, request number 23-01400 from Jack Alamoana LLC.
Yes, Naomi Cole on behalf of Jack Alamoana LLC. I have the same request for this applicant. When I turned in the application, I didn't know exactly when the preliminary hearing would be. So they have 120 unused days, but we probably only need 60 days. So I'd like to request that the temporary liquor license be extended from March 31st to May 30th, 2023. I was notified just today that the preliminary hearing is set for next week, Thursday.
That should be sufficient.
Yes.
so only question I have is, so is the applicant actually open or are they not open still yet?
They're still not open yet, but it's just about imminent any day.
Okay, so they're at that point where they can open at
Right.
any time. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at, they're at the two moves, right? And then
I
now the
know.
instance is not open, so I'm just asking. Okay. I have no other question.
Okay, I move we approve agenda item number 21, request number 23-01400.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing or seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Request number 23-01400 is approved.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Commission, can I get a type of action for agenda items number 22 through 37?
I move we approve agenda items number 22 through 37. Findings of facts, conclusions of law, and decisions of order.
second,
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none. Also vote aye. The motion carries. Agenda item number 22. With that, we'll move into adjudication hearings. For that, good to see you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tom Snapsinger, Deputy Corporation Counsel on behalf of the City and County of Honolulu.
Afternoon. Following agenda item number 38, LCB 21-0437 Fresco Restaurant.
Good afternoon, Chair Buckley and members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of Fresco Restaurant. Appearing with me is Hisao Tarumi. Last name is spelled Tarumi. He's the general manager. We enter a plea of no contest and waive reading of the charge.
motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and seconds. Any objections or reservations? Hearing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Knopf, your recommendations.
This violation occurred on November 1st, 2021, when licensee failed to submit its annual employee listing. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $250.
Mr. Gota, any explanations?
Applicant believes they submitted it on time, however, we have no proof of that, and so we are entering the no contest plea. Applicant will not cut it so close in filing this in the future and understands the deadlines, and so this should not happen in the future.
So he received everything, but he thinks he turned it on time.
Yeah, they recall, I mean, they say they walked in and filed it on October 31st.
Okay.
However, they don't have proof of it, so.
Mr. Knopsinger, is there anything in the file on when it was, or when it was received?
According to the investigative report, it was received on November 5th, 2021, 4 days after the deadline had elapsed.
We're gonna make a motion to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 38.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A letter of reprimand will be issued for agenda item number 38.
Thank you very much.
Calling agenda item number 39, LCB 21-0424, Jen Korean Barbecue Pearl Ridge.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Steven Nakoba, representing Jen Korean LLC. I will let Mr. Conan Pike Rosa introduce himself as well as the young lady behind.
Yes, go ahead.
Conan Pike Rosa, District Manager. Carla, she's our AGM at Jen Ridge.
Could you spell your names, please?
CONAM. Last name is PAIK -ROSA. And Carlos last name.
Waive reading of the charge.
We do, we have reading of the charge. We are actually going to be entering a plea of no contest.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Knopsinger, your recommendations.
This violation occurred on November 1st, 2021, when licensee failed to submit its annual employee listing. This is our first violation. The recommended fine is $250.
Mr. Nakoba, sorry, I'm still working with the names.
It's not a
To
problem.
remember
It's-
everybody,
it's
it's not easy.
If
for
you
me
say,
yet.
if you say, hey, you, I will answer.
Mr. Nakoba, any explanations?
Yes, Jen Korean at the time was in the middle of a GM change out from one GM to another. The information they thought they had submitted, they had not. In our defense, the 2022 numbers were, information was actually submitted early. They made sure they followed up. And so the 2021 was just this weird aberration. They felt really bad. They're trying to make up for it now. And they put things in place so that it doesn't happen again.
Were they in 2021? Was the Pearl Ridge one operating as well, though? Were they all operating?
Yes, it operated, the Pearl Ridge one opened March, I believe, of 2021 and work ran continuous.
And so, but ultimately, right, the 2021 employee list was not provided at all.
It was passed through. My understanding was it was passed through, but
You submitted it.
yeah, and there was, so I guess, yeah, when things were happening with regards to the GMs changing out and people moving around. Something got lost in the translation and
Mr. Knopsinger, is there any representation in the file of when the commission received the 2021?
I do not have any information on when we received the list.
Okay. But Mr. Nicol, but they have put in place where we're not gonna see this again, correct?
yes, most definitely. In fact, as I stated earlier, in 2022, they submitted it, made sure they submitted it. And they actually emailed again to the commission and said, you know, do you have possession? And the commission replied back that, yes, they did. So
So we'll take your representations. It's not gonna happen again. So
Yes.
my motion will be to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 39.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A letter of reprimand will be issued for agenda item number 39.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 40, LCV 21-0429, Pizza One Restaurant. Good afternoon. Could you just please state your name for the record?
It's Kinjawan restaurant, stay on.
Could you spell that, please?
My name is T-A-E, last name K-I-M. So restaurant name is Kinjawan.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Nafziger, can you please read the charge?
On or about November 1st, 2021, licensee failed to timely submit the name of every person then employed on the licensed premise who is registered with the commission or who is subject to registration on the date and in such manner as directed by the commission in violation of Rule 3-82-38.8 of the rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Mr. Kim, correct?
Yeah.
How would you like to plead? You can accept the charge, deny the charge, plead no contest to the charge with explanation. How would you like to plead?
I'm gonna explanation my violation. At the time,
Okay, so it's, so if you plead accept or no contest with explanation, you can do that. If you plead deny, then it's something different.
I want to know no contest. Well, I just
Okay.
a little bit, I explain to my violation.
Okay, so wait, so we're gonna take and second that you are taking a plea of no contest, and then we'll let you know as soon as you're able to explain, okay?
Okay, for sure.
So motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Nafziger, your recommendation, please.
Again, this violation occurred on November 1st, 2021, when licensee failed to submit its annual employee listing. This is the first violation. The recommended fine is $250.
Okay, Mr. Kim, what is your explanations?
At the time, 2021, employee list deadline is June 31st. And we didn't, our restaurant, we didn't change it to Liquor Commission addresses, and then you guys mail to my CPA, Jason CPA office mail to them. They recognize to January 30, they recognize it tomorrow is the last day deadline. Then I recognize at the time, I'm gonna ask next day, July 1st, I'm gonna email to Liquor Commission, just one day late employees, and we since 1997 open business, this kind of violation only just one time, the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Nafziger, do you have anything in your files on when the list was received?
I do not have the date that the commission received it.
Anna, I don't know who we would ask. So how long have they had the license? If you know. I guess.
Usually employees once a year, deadline June 31st. Yeah. We know already, and we got the 27 business already. Every time we did it at the time.
So my thing is, I just want to see, I know you had represented, you have had it for about
Appreciate it.
19 years, correct? How long have you had? the
26 years.
26 years. I just want to, if you know, if not, don't worry about it.
Well, under this ownership, we show records going back to 1998.
1998. And first time, okay. I'm gonna make a motion to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 4.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A letter of reprimand will be issued for agenda item number 40. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Agenda item number 41, LCV 21-0420, Hanno Daido Koro. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Fumiyaki Matsuka. I'm a general manager at the Hanno Daidokoro.
You spell your first last name.
What's it?
Spell your name, please.
Fumiaki. Last name is Matsuka, Mapsuka.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Knapsinger, can you please read the charge?
On or about November 1st, 2021, licensee failed to timely submit the name of every person then employed on the licensed premise who is registered with the commission or who is subject to registration on the date and in such manner as directed by the commission in violation of Rule 3-82-38.8 of the rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of.
Okay, Mr. Matsuka, you can accept the charge, deny the charge, or plead no contest with explanation.
I'm going to accept the charge.
Accept the charge. Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries and please accept.
Mr. Knapsinger, your recommendations.
This violation occurred on November 1st, 2021, when licensee failed to submit its annual employee listing. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $250. And I can report that the Liquor Commission received the annual employee list via email on November 3rd, 2021, so 2 days late.
Mr. Matsuka, any explanation?
No excuse, no explanation. Just forget to submit the employees.
Does it show how long the licensees have the license in the file? It doesn't.
Based on the information in the file, it looks like the effective date was November of 2020. I'm not sure if there was anything before that.
Okay. So Mr. Matsuka, let's work toward making sure we get it in on time going forward. My motion is going to be to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 41.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A letter of reprimand will be issued for agenda item number 42. Thank you. Thanks, sir. Calling agenda item number 43, LCB 22-0121, Hawaiian Monarch Hotel.
42. His was 41.
Oh, I'm sorry. Calling agenda item number 42, LCV 21-0107, Hawaiian Monarch Hotel. Hello, good afternoon.
My name is Bernadette Halsey, HALSEY, representing Hawaiian Monarch.
Mr. Knapsinger, please read the charge.
On or about August 31st, 2020, and or during the period from August 31st, 2020 to September 2, 2020, in the City and County of Honolulu, State of Hawaii, licensee failed to submit the name of every person then employed on the licensed premise who is registered with the commission or who is subject to registration on the date and in such manner as directed by the commission in violation of Rule 3-82-38.8 of the rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Ms. Halsey. How would you like to plead? You can go ahead.
No contest with explanation.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Please accept.
Mr. Knapsinger, your recommendations.
Again, this violation occurred on August 30th, 2020, when licensee failed to submit its annual employee listing. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $250.
Ms. Halsey, your explanation.
During this time is, of course, during the pandemic, the 2 bars that were operating under our license were actually closed. It was difficult to get in touch with the managers to get the list, the proper list. It was submitted on the 31st, or it wasn't received by the commission until September 2nd, which is 12 days late. We understand the importance of submitting it on time.
During the time period that's listed here, were you guys operating and selling alcohol, or you guys were just closed?
Both bars.
Both bars were closed. My motion will be to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 42.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Letter of reprimand will be issued for agenda item number 42. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 43, LCV 22-0121, Hawaiian Monarch Hotel.
Yes.
Bernadette Halsey, Halsey.
Mr. Knopfinger, can you please read the charge?
On or about August 16, 2022, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to have a duly registered manager in active charge of the licensed premises during the time the establishment is licensed to sell or serve liquor in violation of Rule 3-82-38.9 subsection A of the rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Ms. Halsey, how would you like to plead?
No contest.
Motion to accept the plea?
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Seeing and hearing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Knopfinger, your recommendation?
Again, this violation occurred on August 16, 2022, when licensee failed to have a manager in charge. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $500.
Ms. Halsey, your explanation?
Again, this was under pandemic situations. Both bars subsequently closed. There are no operating bars on our facility as of right now. And at the time of the violation, we didn't know that we had to have somebody on duty, even if we weren't serving alcohol. So there, no guests were provided alcohol on our premises. Both bars are still closed. So when we were served with the papers, it was explained to us because of the license that we hold that we do need to have a manager on duty, despite the fact that we aren't serving alcohol. So we did have two of our employees go and get our blue manager's card. So we were issued the hearing notice on the 17th and have since on the 23rd received two manager cards. So we have somebody covering during our hours of operation.
So, as questions, so, Mr. Knopfinger, the date for the alleged violation was August 16th, 2022, am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You were still not open at that time.
The bars are still not open. No.
Still even.
But we have a front desk. It's still operating as a hotel, but we don't serve alcohol of any kind to any of our guests. So we didn't think that we had to have a manager on duty, but we understand now that we do and do have that covered now. It has been granted.
My motion is going to be to approve the recommended fine of $500 for agenda item number 23.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A fine of $500 be issued for agenda item number 43. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 44, LCV 21-0438, hearing Bowen.
All right, my name is Todd Sutton, TODD, SUTTON, and I'm the Vice President of AOP Group.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Mr. Knopfinger, can you please read the charge?
On or about November 1st, 2021, licensee failed to timely submit the name of every person then employed on the licensed premise who is registered with the commission or who is subject to registration on the date and in such manner as directed by the commission in violation of Rule 3-82-38.8 of the rules of the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu.
Mr. Sutton, how would you like to plead?
I'm going to plead no contest.
Motion to accept the plea?
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Seeing and hearing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted.
Mr. Knopfinger, your recommendations, please?
Again, this violation occurred on November 1st, 2021, when licensee failed to submit its annual employee listing. This is our first violation. The recommended fine is $250.
Mr. Sutton, your explanation?
I mean, there were some mitigating circumstances. This is the only concept in our portfolio that we don't actually own. So we were in a management agreement with Tao Group out of Las Vegas. So there was a lot of variables to why we were laid down.
Okay. Was the list ultimately turned into
It
the Liquor
was
Commission?
submitted, yeah, it was just late.
Okay. Mr. Knopfinger, is there any date that they received it?
I do not have a date that the commission
Okay.
received the report.
Okay. I guess, Mr. Sun, my other question would be has things been kind of ironed out currently where you guys are able to be providing it in a timely manner going forward?
I think we're in a much better position now than we were then, yes.
Okay, because we don't want to see back for another violation for November 1st, 2022, or then any other dates. Okay. My motion is going to be to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 44.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A letter of reprimand will be issued for agenda item number 44.
Guys, thank you.
Calling agenda item number 45, LCV 22-0105, Kenwood Tavern. Good afternoon, Mr. Cleveland.
Good afternoon, Sheriff, members, Commission, GQ for the licensee. Waive reading the charge. We denied the charge and asked be set for contested.
Let me work through the paperwork.
Would you waive reading of procedural rules and have your client receive them via mail?
Yeah.
And this matter will be set for a contested case hearing at the next available time.
Yes. Yeah, with me, you don't have to read. Thank you.
That should make us work, Mr. Keith. Calling agenda item number 46, LCV 22-0102, La Cucina.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. My name is Miles Furutani, the attorney for LIQ Factory LLC, doing business as La Cucina.
Could you spell your last name, please?
It's Furutani.
Mr. Furtani, do you waive reading of that charge?
We're
Would you like us-
reading of the charge, Your Honor, and we will enter a plea of no contest. My apologies, Mr. Don Trong, TRUONG, was here earlier, except that his restaurant, which has 3 employees, opens at 5:30, and it's past that time. His first customer is the Honorable Retired Governor Ben Cayetano. So he could not be late. I apologize on the behalf.
That's fine. We understand it's a difficult hour for us.
We have no contest has been entered.
Second.
There's been a motion and the seconds. Are there any objections or reservations?
Sorry, I don't bring back there a second. Mr. Nasir. If you use it, oh,
We have to make a motion.
yes. Motion. Go ahead. Sorry,
I can't make the motion.
second. Wait,
I can't make the motion.
I make a motion to accept the plea.
I'll second.
Sorry,
There's been a motion.
We got the wheels in order.
it was gonna be once, it was gonna happen somewhere along the line today.
Objections or reservations, seeing hearing none, I also vote aye, and the motion carries. Please accept it.
Mr. Sapsy, your recommendations.
This violation occurred on July 21st, 2022, when licensee sold liquor while their license was expired. This is a first violation. The recommended fine is $500.
Okay, Mr. Furatani,
Yes.
any explanations?
Yes. We don't deny the charge. I mean, we actually did sell 7 glasses of wine that evening. And we were not aware, the restaurant was not aware that the liquor license had expired. It's never expired before. It was always renewed. And the reason why it was not renewed is the accountant who normally handles all of their paperwork. Unfortunately, at that time was COVID positive, and actually pretty sick. He had also had a bout with pneumonia following that. Upon learning of the violation, when they were issued a notice of violation, La Cucina was actually very proactive. They sent, and I do have copies of the emails, if the commission is so inclined to see them. We sent copies of emails to the customers. We called the customers or sent them texts to let them know that the license has expired and that we will not be able to serve any alcohol during the period that the reservation was made. And if the commission so chooses, I can leave copies of the emails that were sent the following day on the 22nd, actually. So very proactive in doing that. And the license was ultimately reinstated. Unfortunately, because the accountant was ill, the tax clearance certificate and the certificate of good standing, which is, I think, required to get your license, took a little while. So I believe the license renewal occurred later in the year, but no alcohol was served. And again, I can leave copies with the commission of our emails, and I can read, they're all the same to the customers, and it basically says this: we just want, quote, we just wanted to inform you ahead of time that we are still in the process of renewing our liquor license, and unfortunately, because of the long process, we are unable to obtain it by tonight. Therefore, we will not be able to sell any alcoholic beverages this evening. That was sent to every customer that they had contact information on. Those who did not, we did not have contact information on, was either by telephone or by text.
But the date in question, that July 21st, 2022, like the licensee did actually provide alcohol, though, correct?
We sold 7 glasses at $56. Yes.
Okay.
And it's the first time in, I believe, 10 years. And unfortunately, it was a chain of circumstances which occurred because they were under the assumption that the liquor license was renewed. The accountant unfortunately had COVID, had tested positive for COVID, and was actually pretty sick. So while upon learning of it, when we got the notice of violation, we stopped immediately, let everyone know, hey, we can't sell liquor. So it's an unfortunate set of circumstances.
Do you know, Mr. Rosani, when your license, when your client, I know they were closed quite a bit for COVID. Do you know when they reopened?
I do not know the exact date, but I believe it was in the fall of 2022. I believe.
I'm gonna assume it was 2021.
21, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
21.
only because this happened in July of 2022, so I'm assuming it was in fall of 2021. My recommendation is going to be to issue a fine of $250 for agenda item number 46.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, I'm making a motion to. Motion is to issue a fine of $250 for agenda item number 46.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. A fine of $250 will be issued for agenda item number 46. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just, I don't know what the protocol is. I did make reference to the letters. Should I leave it with?
It's up to you. If you want to have it included as part of the file, you can just leave copies with me and I will.
I did make reference to it. I gave a copy to Mr. Nepsinger already.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
My
sir.
apologies. Thank you again.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 47, LCB 21-0192, Board Riders Bar.
That part too.
Good evening, James Mansell, Board Riders Bar and Grill, managing member.
Gentlemen, are we going to move forward with the contested case this evening?
I was, didn't plead no contest to this before because I didn't have a report. See what the investigator's report was, so we're here, I think it was, a month ago or so, they asked if they'd send me the report. I got the report on the 24th of January. Email, and I looked at it and I don't have all the information. I do the PDFs showing proof and everything else, but in a timely manner, I couldn't get all the stuff to fight something like that. And to tell you the truth, looking at everything, the one aspect of the case with mingling, I really don't want to contest that. So let's do a no contest with explanation.
And do you waive reading of the charge, or would you like us to read the charge before you enter that?
I know that we had a mix up on the charge number, so I guess we're talking about the one where there was mingling.
Yeah, why don't we just read the charges?
Yeah.
For the record, Mr. Natsner.
On or about April 30th, 2021, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to comply with laws applicable to the business of licensee, whether in existence at the time of issue of such license or enacted or amended from time to time thereafter, to wit, Emergency Order 2021-04, COVID-19 novel coronavirus, Honolulu's COVID-19 recovery framework, second amended order implementing Tier 3, dated March 24, 2021, in violation of Section 281-38 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes.
Thank you, Mr. Menzel. I would like to lead on that.
No contest and with explanation.
And to accept the plea.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any objections or reservations? Hearing or seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The plea is accepted. Mr. Nassinger, could you please give us your recommendation for this charge?
So this violation occurred on April 30th, 2021, when licensee violated the COVID orders by 1, failing to collect complete contact tracing information, and 2, allowing intermingling and insufficient social distancing between groups. This is licensee's second violation of the statute. However, the first violation was issued on January of 2018, which was not related to COVID. Based on the fact that this is the first COVID violation, the recommended fine will be $500. I will also note for the commission that licensee received a warning for this conduct on August 22nd, 2022, or I'm sorry, August 22nd, 2020.
And just for clarification, the prior charge was under Section 281-38, and of course, not the emergency order.
Correct. I do not have information on what the violation was, but given the date, we know that it was in COVID order related.
Mr. Menzel, please.
Okay, okay, the 2018 one that we had was just to make it clear, that one was dropped. It had to do with fire equipment that we had, and I came in and proved that, and that thing was dropped. Just because we have a pretty clean record, even though there's a lot in 20-something years. But as far as this allegation, I'm not going to contest because of the mingling part, but we were given no warning on this. It says follow-up warning on the investigator's report. A follow-up warning was done in August of 2020, and they came in and said that we were not operating as a restaurant, but we then showed that we were operating as a restaurant. So they didn't give us a violation, they just warned us. And then they used that as a follow-up to come on a different executive order in April of 30th of 2021 and said that we weren't separated, where I had 3 tents. The space is 3,500 square feet. That was the kitchen, 2,500 square feet. I had 3 10 tops, 2 5 tops pushed together. Had the names of every person and one name for each reservation that I had on my phone. I have QRs on every single one of them. Small restaurant that is local type of style. You know, we know everyone in there. We had all their names listed on the stack of contract tracing we had for the course of the year. I have the PDF and the QR. I have the text message with the people's names. Every person in the photos I could recognize and know. They show a photo of a guy standing up, putting on a mask. This is the thing I can't justify, because he did get up with the mask in his hand in the photo. And then he puts his mask on, he's got his mask on, he walks over and says bye to someone, then walks out the door. So that mingling right there is a clear violation of everything I've heard about with mingling, which everyone in this room, I'm sure, violated at some point in time during this order. Because we even had the mayor on TV saying that, you know, how do you stop from saying bye to someone? How do you stop them from getting up? So that mingling order, I called here and I called the mayor's office, and he said, don't worry, we'll be given a warning if that happens. It's not like we're going to go around and say someone's buying, they're walking out, and it's going to happen. But the detectives or the investigators did tell me that was the issue, that they could not, I can't get around that. They said, what about these 2 tables? I go, they're together. It's just 2 circular tables pushed together, making it look like it's back to back. So we were slow. We had 30-some people. We fit 120 people in there at normal time. So we were not trying to extend ourselves. And we did our best. I mean, one of the pictures that shows our hand wiping thing, how empty the place was. And I kept on going back to them saying, guys, you should at least, it's Friday night, 8 o'clock. That means you're closing us Friday night and Saturday, because people won't see us open until 8:30 or something. So it's the only times we're busy were Friday, Saturday nights. We were all literally dying in those days. And I think we tried our best.
You know, I think that mingling thing was wrong. You know, I think was an order that couldn't be, you couldn't help us do it, and neither could they. I think that for me, the most important thing today I came down here for is I fight a lot of Trumpers about regulation not being a bad word. It's because we don't spend enough time on compliance and we spend too much time on enforcement with fines. If we help people comply, they'll stop thinking regulation is a bad word. Regulation cannot be a bad word in this society. So my plea, I'm getting old, so you know, this is philosophical stuff. But my plea is that let's not keep making it so people think that liquor commission is bad. They just come in and give you tickets. How about, hey guys, you can't get up with your mask, you know? One warning that's not about something that has nothing to do with the case. You know, and we did this and never had another one after that. There was a lot of different rules going on. This is emergency order from this was a month before that. The other ones that were warning was given on, it was already rescinded according to these in his own documentation. So, I mean, I don't think there's a point. My attorney said there's no point, you know, I couldn't hire him for what my fine is. So, you know, it's stupid for me to fight anything. And, you know, it's not like you guys have unduly, you gave me $10,000, the city and county gave me $10,000 for the COVID thing, you know, so I am appreciative of that. So if I have to get back some money of it, you know, so be it. So that's all I got. You know,
There's one, and you made brief mention of this, but one of the, I wouldn't say charge, there's only one charge, but one of the aspects of the charge was failing to collect information, tracing information. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Did you have any comment or explanation to that portion?
I did. We had not only, and it says in the order that I could do it any way I wanted. The way I did it, I have open table. I also have people make the reservation for those tables. I'm not going to deal with 15 little tables. I made 10 tops. You want to come in and reserve a table with all your friends. They all know each other. They're in the same houses or, you know, same groups of people that hang out and drink everywhere, go into their own rooms together and their own, when their bar wasn't open, they were in the little kitchens this big. Okay, so basically those people were part of that group. So I just said, you're a 10, you're a 10, you're a 10, you're a 10. You're not part of that group. We had 3 names written down on a piece of paper, people that weren't part of the group. The other people were parts of groups of 10. Okay, so I had a QR code with every single person that's ever come into our place for the last three years, and I could show a PDF, the QR code of every single person that came into this, because all they did was go up and did the QR because they signed this day after day. It's the same guess. We're not like, we didn't have tourists then. You know, if there was a tourist, it was visiting one of our regulars who brought them in with their party of 10, because the rule was one person in a group of 10 had to give their name so we could tell everyone. But if someone went to Board Riders and had COVID and we had to get a hold of everybody, I mean, that would, why we could get a hold of every single person that was ever in the bar, not to mention that night. And we probably would, because we knew it. And my biggest concern was my employees more than anyone else, because it was hard to even just maintain a staff. They get a little sniffle, we had to keep them home and stuff like that. So we were doing everything we could. Maybe not, my intent was mostly to just save my employees. I didn't want to go up to all these different tables all over the place, all standing up. Just this is a group, you're coming in for this hour, you want to stay longer, let us know, continue the reservation, so that we had it structured. I also have another restaurant in Kailua right down the street. I have cameras on all this. The investigator said, how do you know if this is being done right? I go, I have cameras for everything. I can show you what's live in all my restaurants right now. I've had that since 2008. I saw the liquor commission come into the restaurant, take pictures. So I ran down the road and greeted them. And it's when they weren't going to give me a warning and said they'd already give me a warning. I said, well, you know, no one's going to love you guys, you know, for doing this kind of stuff, because everyone had already gone around and got one person. And when I drove out, the thing that got me the worst is when I drove out, following them to see where they went next and heading home, I drive by and there's a wedding in the corner of 150 people standing next to each other. And their car of 4 investigators drove right by that wedding of 150 people. And I'm like, God, we're doing what we're doing. And there's a wedding of 150 people standing around drinking champagne and music on and mingling, literally mingling. You know what I mean? So I'm like, the hypocrisy was too much for me. You know, it's like, it's late, so I'll stop. Sorry.
Messinger, is there any detail in your report regarding the contract tracing or the failure to have contract tracing?
Based on Investigator Crusade's report, when they were asked, they were provided with an incomplete written list. At that time, Mr. Mansell stated that he had a list of names present that night on his cell phone. Mr. Mansell showed his iPhone to investigator Cruce and presented what appeared to be a list of text messages and then put his phone away. The manager who first presented the contact tracing list made no statement or indication that Mr. Mansell had this list of names. Mr. Mansell was then showed the contact tracing log that was presented for the night. And during this conversation, Mr. Mansell did not attempt to present his phone or show his list to refute the observations. And later on in the evening, Mr. Mansell admitted and acknowledged on his own volition that they had messed up.
I did show them the phone. They didn't care about it because we were talking about the mingling in the warning. And I continued to say, you can give us a warning. We already gave you a warning. I said, when? I never knew of a warning. Didn't want to see my phone, had all the people in it. I still have it. I have the PDF with all the contact tracing I could prove. We want to, but that's the honest truth.
So I think my one comment I want to make is that, I think during this COVID time, I don't think that the commission really wanted to be the guys that were in charge of checking all these violations and being in charge of that, but that's what we were put in charge of. And so I think, we're hopefully at a point now in our life, we're never going to get that again, right? And we can get through these things and hope we're not going to have issues with that kind of things going forward. My motion is going to be issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 47.
Second.
Then a motion in the seconds. Any objections or reservations? Hearing and seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. The letter of reprimand will be issued for agenda item number 47.
Thank you, guys. Sorry about all wrong-worded.
Moving into other business, agenda item number 48, liquor administrator, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Chair. I earlier circulated the usual weekly report. I don't have anything to add. With respect to this, the description of the agenda, 90-day event schedule and work plan coordination. This is just to remind the commission that if they wish an item placed on the agenda for the following week, this is a good time to let me know because we post the agenda on Fridays. And so if there's something in terms of a discussion or planned need for an executive session, if you could let me know on today or midday tomorrow at the latest, so we can include it. Next week, you'll see 2 items for that are informational and for discussion purposes. So if you'll just keep that in mind every single week as we get to this, to make that to remind me or put it on my list. That's
Yes.
it.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. I would like in future hearings to start a process where we can have an open forum discussion between the commission members and the public for stated, usually probably one stated issue that we will agendaize under this other business. And just be an opportunity for us as a commission to discuss this issue openly and for the public to comment on that. So we will agenda those items in accordance with what you just mentioned.
Got it.
I guess I have a question. Do we need to, or what was it, not last week, prior week, we had some stuff discussion over administrative or administrator things. Is there anything that's going to be listed next meeting or a few meetings where we're gonna have some discussion about that?
I believe we will need to very soon,
Okay.
probably next week.
Okay, that's my question. Okay, thank you.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Dylan, I can fill you in on what we just.
Yep.